Okay, so now we will see the first example of one sample t-test, right? As I told you, why is a one sample t-test used? One sample t-test is used to compare the mean of the population with the mean of the sample. Okay, why is a one sample t-test used? To compare the mean of the population with the mean of the sample. Like I gave you that example of cricket player, World Cup in the last lecture, last video. What if the average age of India is 25 and the average age of sample is 50, then there is a difference between their ages, right? So the mean of these ages is wrong. Okay, what they think about the World Cup is different, but at least the mean of their ages is not similar, right? So that is like something that you have to keep in mind. Okay, so see in this question, what are they giving us? Consider the following sample data, 9.3, these other values. Is there evidence to support a claim that the mean of the population is 10? Okay, so what have they given us? They have given us that the population mean is 10. These are the different samples. What is the total number of samples? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, there are 10 samples. What is the level of significance? Level of significance is not given. So if level of significance is not given, then we assume the level of significance to be 5. And what is degree of freedom? For one sample t-test, degree of freedom is number of samples minus 1. So in our case, the number of samples is 10. So the degree of freedom is 9. Right? So this is the given data. Now, what is the first step that we have to do? The first step that we have to do in t-test is to write the null hypothesis and the alternate hypothesis. So what will be the null hypothesis? Always the null hypothesis is for t-test, one sample t-test, there is no significant difference between the mean of the sample and mean of the population. What does it mean? They have given us mean of the population is 10, mean of the sample we have to find out. Null hypothesis says that there is no difference between the mean of the sample and mean of the population. So x bar is equal to mu. What is the alternate hypothesis? Alternate hypothesis states that x bar is not equal to mu. Means what we are, null hypothesis is what? Null hypothesis is our assumption. Alternate hypothesis is what? Alternate hypothesis is something which is opposite to our assumption. If null hypothesis is proved correct, then our assumption is correct. If null hypothesis is proved wrong, then our assumption is wrong and alternate hypothesis is correct. Okay, so that is what we are seeing over here. So first step, what should be the first step? First you have to write the given data. As soon as you write the given data, then you have to write the null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis. What is step 2? Step 2 is to draw the table. In the table, what do you do? In the table, you write the values of all the variables. See, here I have written, these are all the variables that they have given us. I have written all the values of the variables. Then what do? You do the sum of all these variables. Okay, you add these up. 9.37 plus this plus this plus this. Like this, you add up and you get the total over here. This is the total that you are getting. This is summation x. So with this is the sum of all the samples. These are all the samples that I have, and this is the sum of all the samples. Next, what I have to do? I have to find the mean of the sample. X bar is what? X bar is mean of sample. How do we find the mean of the sample? Mean of the sample is equal to summation x divided by number of samples. So that is what we have done over here. Summation x is what? Summation x is 109.52 divided by 10. Okay. So 109.52 divided by 10 gives you what? 10.952. That is the mean of the sample. Right. So see, you have to draw this table in the exam. That is why I am explaining it. You have to draw it like this only. Okay. What is the next step? Next, you have to find out the difference between each sample and the mean of the sample. So you have to find x minus x bar. How can you do it? You have your x bar value 10.952. Subtract 10.952 from 9.37. So 9.37 minus 10.952, what do you get? You get minus 1.582. So I have written minus 1.582 over here. Next is what? Next is 13.04 minus 10.952. So okay, I will just show you over here. Just 1 minute. Let us take the calculator. So 1 minute. Right. So next is what? 13.04 minus 10.952. So we get 2.088. Next what? For the third reading, 11.69 minus 10.952. We get 0.738. Similarly for fourth reading, 8.21 minus 10.952 and we get minus 2.742. So we have gotten all the readings like this. Then what we have done? We have done square of all these readings, right? This is how you calculate the variance, right? You know the formula for variance, no? Variance is equal to sigma square. Sigma square is equal to what? Summation x minus x bar the whole square divided by n. In our case, it will be n minus 1, okay? But this is the formula. That is what we are doing over here. So we are finding x minus x bar the whole square ka summation. So here what we have done, we have calculated the x minus x bar. In the next column, what do? We do the square of each of these terms. We do the square of each of these terms and write it over here. So if you want to see, right, okay. So what should be the first? Minus 1.582 into, sorry, I will have to clear this. See, I won't write minus, you know, no, negative into negative is positive, right? So 1.582 into 1.582. What am I getting? 2.503. 2.088 into 2.088. 4.359. Okay, that is 4.36 approximately. So what is x? What is this column? This column is this column square. Okay, this column is this column ka square. Okay, we have found out all the values of x minus x bar the whole square. Then what do? We do summation of all these values. We do addition of all these values. Okay, after we do the addition of all these values, we get the summation x minus x dash the, sorry, x minus x bar the whole square. We get the summation, which is what? 35.765. Right? Once we get this summation, then we can do the calculations. Once we have the total summation, then we can do the calculation. Now, what is the formula for one sample t-test? You will have to remember all these formulas. This is something which you have to remember. You have to remember this formula for one sample t-test. T is equal to modulus of x bar minus mu upon s into square root of n, where s is equal to, s is your standard deviation, right? S is your standard deviation. So s is equal to what? Just now I told you, s is equal to square root of sigma square, right? Sigma is used for population. For sample we use s square. Okay, sigma is used for population, s is used for sample. So over here we have x minus x bar the whole square divided by n minus 1. So just we have to substitute this value. This value we got from that previous table. We will substitute that value over here. We know n is equal to 10. So n minus 1 is 9. Substitute that value. Do square root. You will get value of s. Now substitute that value of s over here. Put the value of x bar. How will you get the value of x bar? That value of x bar is also in this table. See, value of x bar is also in this table. You have found it out, right? So you have found out the value of x bar, you have found out the value of s, and you have found out the value of mu, right? Sorry, yeah, it should be x bar minus mu over here, x bar minus mu, right? X bar minus mu, what is the value of mu? Mu is 10. They have already given to us, right? Sorry, that is s. Sorry, yeah, sorry, that is correct. This is correct over here. So this is your x bar which we have put. This is your mu. Mu is what? Mu is given to us, right? They have given to us mu is equal to 10. We have to check if the average mean is 10, and what is this into square root of n. We have 10 samples, so square root of 10. What is the value of t that we are getting? The value of t is 1.51. Okay, so from all this calculation, what did the value we get? We got the value 1.51. This is the t value. Now using this t value, what we have to do? We have to check it with the standard t value. We have to check it with the standard t value. Now how do we find out the standard t value? See, to find out the standard t value, just a minute. I have given these tables on our classroom also, Google Classroom also. To find out the values of this, just a minute. Yeah, t table. Okay, so this is our t table. What are we doing? We are always doing two tail. Okay, what is one tail, two tail? Don't go into it right now. We will always be doing two tail questions, right? So in this, what is happening? What is the level of significance? They have not given us the level of significance in the question. So whenever level of significance is not given in the question, always assume it to be 0.05. Okay, so we are doing two tail. What is the level of significance? 5%. 5% means 0.05. What is the degree of freedom? See over here, df means degree of freedom. What is the degree of freedom? Degree of freedom is number of samples minus 1. Number of samples is 10, minus 1 is 9. So 9. So in 0.05, we have to find 9. Right? 0.05, we have to find 9. So this is the value that we are interested in. This is the standard t value. So standard t value for degree of freedom of 9 and your confidence level, sorry, not confidence level, okay, 95% confidence level, which is also known as alpha is equal to 5. Okay, I forgot that. Alpha is equal to 5. You are getting 2.262. Okay, so that is the standard t value. So whatever is the standard t value, you have to write it. Okay, you have to write it. So we will write it over here. So see, I have written the standard t value 2.262. Now compare the actual calculated t value with the standard t value. Okay, standard t value. If calculated t value is greater than standard t value, then null hypothesis is wrong. If calculated t value is greater than standard t value, then null hypothesis is wrong. If calculated value is less than standard value, then null hypothesis is correct. So in our case, our calculated value is what? 1.51, and our standard value is what? 2.262. So our calculated value is less than our standard value. So null hypothesis is correct. So here, what is the conclusion that we write? As the calculated t value is less than the standard t value, the null hypothesis is correct. Or we can write the null hypothesis is accepted. Right? And hence, what was our null hypothesis? That x bar is equal to mu. Means what? The mean of the sample is 10. Okay? Yes, there is enough evidence to support the claim that mean of the sample is 10. Okay? So this is the first sum, that is of one sample t-test. We will be solving a similar sum in the next video.